Hey everyone, I'm Matt. Welcome to my shop. It has been over a year, probably a year and a half, since I did an update on the Suzuki Samurai project, so that's what we're going to do today. This is my 1986 Suzuki Samurai. It's got an Isuzu C223 diesel in it. If you guys have followed me for any length of time, you are well aware of this project, as I've had it for about almost 2 years now. I bought it as a roadkill style challenge, sorta. Bought it from my friend Doug as a non-running project. It already had the diesel swapped into it. Had a slew of problems, not the least of which someone had hooked a battery up backwards and melted the wiring harness, fried the alternator. Got it running, did a trip to Paisley, did a whole series of videos on the upgrades and repairs to it. Now, I did take this thing on a trip here a couple of months ago. I did the Suzuki World Fall Classic for this year. We went out to east of Prineville, and it was a heck of a drive, over 1,000 miles, snow, mud, rain, everything else. Really didn't have any major problems, but I did have one issue, and that's one of the things we're going to talk about today. I'm also going to talk about future plans for it, and then we're also going to do one repair, one kind of critical thing that has kept this Samurai in the garage for the last 3 weeks. All right, upcoming plans for this Samurai. I actually had it for sale. Some of you probably already know that. And I sold it no less than 3 times. Facebook Marketplace sucks. I had probably 15 people come and look at it. Maybe 15 people messaged me, maybe 10 come and look at it. And I sold it 3 separate times. People said, hey, I'll take it. Go ahead and hold it for me. I'll be back with the money in, X number of days or something. One of them was really frustrating. The guy shook my hand, told me his handshake was as good as a down payment. And then weeks went by and I finally got in touch with him and he told me his wife wouldn't let him buy it. I don't know, it's frustrating. So I got frustrated with the process. I pulled it down off of Facebook Marketplace. I would still sell it. Someone wanted to offer me some money for it, but at least for right now, I'm not trying to sell it anymore. So that's the current status. Issues with it. Nothing major. I actually was using this thing almost as a daily driver. 5 days a week I was driving this. Whenever I go running, I take it somewhere because I don't like to leave my truck parked there. I got a lot of expensive stuff in the truck. So 20, 30 miles a day, 5 days a week. And I took it on that 1,000-mile trip. It runs great. It really has no major problems. It is a 40-year-old vehicle with a Isuzu diesel swapped into it, so it's got its little quirks and stuff, but generally speaking, it works really good. Gets about 30 miles to the gallon. It is a good little rig. It does have some minor problems. It's got a oil leak from the rear main seal that drips about 2 drips of oil whenever I park it. It's not enough for me to fix. It's enough to just be kind of annoying. I did have a small electrical issue on the Fall Classic. I hooked up a 300-watt inverter to my cigarette lighter power socket in there, and it smoked some wiring. Come to find out, the charger that I was running that 300-watt inverter with was pulling a full 300 watts. And so the inverter was something over 25 amps. I only had 12-gauge wiring in there. It did not blow the 25-amp fuse I had in there. Instead, it started to melt some of the wiring, so I got a little bit of a mess to clean up in there. That is not coming today. That will be coming in a future video. And one other thing I wanted to talk about in today's video was the battery that I've been running in this. I actually hinted at it at the start of the Fall Classic, but I never followed up. This is a lithium battery. And this is a dual-purpose deep cycle and starting battery. It is actually meant to replace a standard automotive battery. I've had it in here for right at a year, and it has almost worked for me perfectly without fail except for one time. Now, if you guys know anything about lithium batteries, you know that they do not like temperature extremes, particularly the cold. If temperatures get below freezing, they cannot be charged. They can still discharge without damage, but if you try and charge them and they're below freezing, it will cause damage to the battery. So this battery has a BMS in it, and on the Fall Classic, even with the engine running, it was so cold and windy that when I parked the Samurai for 10 minutes at a time, it actually got cold enough that it activated that BMS in the battery. And I don't really know how the circuitry is in there. I actually tried to look it up. Wise doesn't have it listed on their website, but it essentially disconnects the battery when there's voltage being produced by the alternator, and so I get wild voltage swings with the Samurai's electrical system whenever that BMS is activated. And at first I thought it was a problem with the battery, but since then we had a few days where temperatures were down below 20 degrees Fahrenheit here, so 10, 12 degrees below freezing, and it behaved in exactly the same way. The Samurai would actually start, but the battery would not charge, and I'd get those wild voltage swings until the temperature got up above freezing. So that is really the only limitation I've had with that battery. I don't know that that's revolutionary news. Lithium batteries are not good in really cold environments. However, for me, that's kind of a rarity to be driving this thing below freezing, so I'm going to leave it in there. It's worked really well for me. So I will post a link to this battery in the video description just in case you guys want to try it. It has worked really well. The engine cranks over like twice as fast. I've run my tent heater off of it for a day and a half at a time with no problem at all. It is definitely an upgrade from the lead acid battery, the standard automotive lead acid battery. You just can't operate it in cold weather. All right, on to the meat of this video. Why has the Samurai been parked here? Why have I not been driving it? This is why, and this is also why the window's open. Look at that. This door handle broke about 3 weeks ago, and I haven't driven it since because I can't open this door. So I've just been leaving the window down so I can open it from the inside. So we got to replace that. And oddly enough, while I was on the Fall Classic, this door handle broke. But this one broke on this side, which is just a pivot, so this one will still operate the door, but I figure might as well replace them both. Did order parts. Got them right here. 2 new door handles. Now, as part of that, I ordered some CNC cut ABS door panels because the ones that I have on here are cheap, foreign, I don't know if they're Chinese or Indian or what they are, but they've got this like kind of vinyl peel and stick adhesive stuff on it. It's super thin. They're just cardboard. They're not very good. They don't match the dimensions very well of the door. So I've got to pull them off anyway. You can see down here that's starting to balloon out. They're just ballooning out from being wet and stuff. So just not high quality material. We're just going to replace them with those ABS pieces and we'll be all good. I do have one of those fancy removal tools for the window regulator handle here, but I don't know where it is. I've just moved, got no idea where it is. Long flat blade screwdriver works fine. There it goes, didn't even lose it. This uses the factory mounting hardware. I'm not too worried about saving anything because these things are going in the trash as soon as I get them off. Alright. Just taking a closer look at the mechanism here. It's a pretty easy project. It's going to involve removing these 2 nuts right here, popping this control arm out of here, and then bolting all the new stuff right into place. All right, I didn't lose it down in the door. Let's see if I can succeed that way with the other one. Success. All right, it should just pop right out of there. I said it should just pop right out of there. There it goes. All right. Done. Yeah, see that side's, the pin is broken. Pin must be down inside the door somewhere. Do I want to find that? Well, there it is. Do I care? Not sure that I care. I like it. All right, let's go do the other side. There, that clip launched into outer space. Now, it landed right here. Landed right with the rest of my parts. That was lucky. Did not go into outer space. Junk. I regret purchasing these things. I bought them off of eBay. Pretty sure I remember them coming from India. Definitely not good. See, look at that. Broken. Goes. All right, the handle is rubbing on the middle of the door just a little bit, but I do think that's going to kind of, for lack of a better solution, is going to self-clearance itself there. That does work fine, so. All right, let's see if we can get some lube. Actually, that feels a lot better. All right. I'd say we got it. All right, let's start putting things back together. I installed these ABS panels on a Samurai that I had years and years ago. I've done the aluminum diamond tread ones and these ABS ones before. I do not like the aluminum diamond tread ones. I just don't like that bright shiny aluminum on the doors, and they're noisy. I ended up putting some Dynamat on the back of them, but still, even then, they just sounded tinny and just didn't like them. These ABS panels are not particularly cheap. I don't know if it's the material or people are just getting good money for laser cutting these. I don't know what it is. Maybe I had to. Oh, window works so much better now that I've lubed it. All right, on to the other side. So imagine the window was broken and someone had it taped up with plastic. That's where the tape residue came from, and the reason the door itself was so full of debris was because there was no glass there to actually deflect that stuff. Well, I'd say that wraps this project up. Really, I know this one isn't quite as complicated as some of my other Samurai videos have been. However, I haven't had to do much to the Samurai. It's really been a pretty reliable vehicle. So yeah, I got those door latches installed and got the broken ones pulled out of there and some new door panels on there and a couple other little things cleaned up. And I'd say that calls it good for this week's video. So thank you for following along, guys, and we will catch you on the next one.